Hi, thank you all for joining us today. On this webinar, we are going to go through the 3 ways the packaging industry is increasing their efficiency through mobile automation. My name is Tiffany. I'm going to be your webinar host today. I am an account executive here at GoFormz, and I do work with some of our larger customers within the packaging industry. So I am excited to give you a glimpse into how we've been helping some of them optimize their processes using GoFormz. All right, so for today's agenda, I do have a couple of items that I want to cover with you today. You can see here, the first one being we are going to talk about these paper processes and some of the limitations that do come with filling out your documents on a manual paper. Next point we're going to go through is some of this data automation and what we can do with this data after it's been captured, and take a glimpse into where you might be on this data automation maturity model. Next, we're going to jump into how GoFormz can improve your process. We will walk through this by talking to you about some of the dynamic field properties that we offer, as well as some of the workflows and automations that are going to help optimize these processes. Then we'll go ahead and wrap it up and leave some time at the end for any of your questions to make sure that we've answered everything fully here today and that you have a good understanding of how the platform works. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. Our first topic today is going to be the 3 major pitfalls of paperwork. As you can see here over to the right, this is probably similar to what you're dealing with today, right? You just have a bunch of papers. Sometimes they're hard to find. Sometimes there might be missing data. You can see over here to the left some of the problems that come along with this. One of the top ones being that it's a very manual process and having to re-enter redundant data. This can be very time consuming. Next is the inability for you to have access to real-time data that's been collected on these forms that you can then use in reporting and analytics. And then lastly, the lack of traceability and some data loss. As I'm sure you're aware, filling out your papers, sometimes the papers aren't turned in properly. There can be missing data where the employee decided not to fill anything out, or maybe that is just ineligible writing and you can't understand what was written on there. So these are some of the pitfalls that do come with you having these manual data processes. Moving along to the data automation. So what we find when our customers first come to us is that they are in this initial pen and paper phase. They're deciding that they want to move on and have something a little bit more automated, but they're not really sure where to start. And this can be a very tough decision to get to in that initial phase. So what we do find is our customers tend to stay in that paper and pen phase because they're uncertain where to go. What happens next is they're looking at their internal solutions to see what do we have internally that can help us solve these problems. They're looking at all of the existing tech stack that they have, seeing where some of these gaps can be covered. What they do find is there might be some that can help in one area, but not another. So it's not covering the full scope of what they actually need. So after they go ahead and take a look at this second evaluation, then we come to this third point, where they're now looking at outside solutions to try to cover some of these gaps and solve some of the problems that they're experiencing. As you're looking at this model, I'm sure that you can, and the explanations that I have here, I'm sure you can look at this and determine where you might fall in this maturity model. So where does GoFormz fit into all of this? With GoFormz at that base level, we are going to help you digitize your paper forms by bringing in a form that looks identical to the one that you're working with today. So we won't make any changes to the background. We'll just simply upload that PDF into GoFormz and then layer those digital fields right on top, so that you can now fill it out on a mobile device. What this is going to do is help eliminate some of that change management that all of our customers find themselves dealing with in that initial phase. Because you're introducing a new solution, but you're not introducing any changes to the forms that your employees have been used to working with for many, many years. And then again, with the data insights. So you'll be able to gain access to your meaningful data over time and have it available for reporting and analytics. So how will GoFormz help you improve your processes? We briefly went over this in the maturity model, but we're going to kind of put it all together here with the actual solution side. So on this first phase, again, it's just digitizing your paper forms so that they're now fillable on a mobile device or the web. Steps 2 through 4 is where it gets really interesting and where you're going to get the most bang for your buck here at GoFormz. So through the use of GoFormz workflows, automations, and integrations, we are able to find a customized solution for your processes and help you optimize these in a way that's going to work best for you. On top of that, we're going to take your aggregated data and have it available for you for reporting and analytics so that you can make strategic decisions about your business. At this point, GoFormz essentially becomes the engine that ties all of your internal systems together so that you can have structure to your unstructured data. Going paperless. So we did cover this a couple different times, but do want to reiterate how we're going to get your forms into GoFormz. So you will be uploading a PDF or JPEG into GoFormz that's going to be identical to what you're working with today. And again, we'll just layer those digital fields on top. Now you can fill it on a mobile device. We are available in all 3 app stores, so it won't matter what device you're using, you will have access to the GoFormz app. So capturing data with your modern forms. So some of the features and field types that we do offer here at GoFormz that are going to help benefit you on your form and help optimize some of these processes. So we do have the photo fields. The photo fields is going to allow you to take a live photo just by opening up the device or the camera on your device, or you can also choose a stored photo. And this is going to allow you to document anything that needs to be done in an image from an image standpoint. We also have calculations. So you can add sums, totals, differences. We have a lot of calculations that you'll be able to use in order to make this function more optimally for you. On the same side of that, we are also able to enter in some calculations that are going to allow you to be notified if there's data that's been entered that is outside of compliance. We can also turn those fields red and make them visible or not visible, depending upon what's going to work best for you. And then again, down here at the bottom, we are available offline as well. So you will not need an internet connection to use the GoFormz app. You'll be able to open up the app and fill out all your data and feel confident that it's going to be saved, regardless of whether or not you have access to the internet. Okay, so let's see it in action. Let's take you guys through a brief demonstration here of some of the points that I have already covered with you. This is the homepage for GoFormz on the web version. This is the place you're going to come to first when you need to create these templates in order to fill out your form on a mobile device. How you're going to get started is you're going to go ahead and select Create New Template. You'll have a couple of options here for you. This Use Form View is going to allow you to upload an exact replica of the paper forms that you're using today. If you wanted to use List View, you can also use this function if you want to create a form from scratch in GoFormz in a list view format. Today, we are going to go over this form view. So what you would do is click here, Use Form View, and then simply browse your computer for the PDF or JPEG that you want to upload. Once you have this in GoFormz, it is going to look similar to this. So this is a blank document that we have that we've already uploaded into GoFormz. How we turn this into a digital document is by using these fields on the left and layering them right on top of the form. So for example, this facility name, if we wanted this to be a freestanding text field, what we would do is simply bring over a text field, align it to fit, and then make any changes here under properties. So going back to, we do have required fields. You could set this up to be a required field, font size, color, any of that takes place here under properties. We do have drop downs, check boxes. So this is the area where you're just going to build this out. And you can see I'm just layering these fields right on top of the background of a PDF that I've already uploaded. Once I have this built out, then it's ready to be filled out on either a mobile device or the web. And it will look something similar to this. So this is a form that I've already had built out, and I can come in here and just go ahead and select my options. And then we can have this freestanding text, and then over here, a note section. Now, this is filling it out on the web. I want to give you a glimpse into what this is going to look like on the mobile device as well, and then show you some additional field types that we have to offer. So if I come over here to my iPad, and again, I did mention that we are available on all 3 app stores. I'm going to show this to you today on an iPad, but it won't matter what device you're using, you will be able to download the GoFormz app. So you'll go ahead and download the app. The templates that you've created on the web will be here ready for you to choose from. For example, this is the form we were just filling out on the web. It's now here on the mobile device. I can complete it the same way I was just completing it on the web. What I do want to show you is another form that we have. It's a work order form. And this is going to show you some of those other field types that I was explaining in my introduction. So a couple of things I'll show you on here is this section for our data sources. If I select here on company name and I choose a selection, all of these subsequent fields are going to be populated with relevant information to Barnett Design. So this is just an example of pre-populating information based upon a selection. We do have a calculations engine, which I was explaining to you as well. So we'll just go ahead and put these in here. We'll get a total here as well as an updated total down at the bottom. Project images, we do have the ability once again to either take a live photo or a stored photo. So you would just select here on images, you'd go ahead and choose the camera, and you have the option to take a live photo or come to the photo library. Okay. Once you have this photo on here, you also have the ability to annotate if you need to draw attention to a certain area. And then coming along, do want to give you a quick glimpse into our required fields. So that's what the required field option is going to look like as well. You won't be able to complete the form until everything is been filled out. I won't go over all of the fields on here. I just wanted to give you an idea into how this form operates in GoFormz and what some of these field types that we've went over do look like. And so coming back over here to the web, this again is going to be your admin view, where you're filling or where you're creating the templates, and the mobile device is going to be where your employees will have the option to fill these forms out. Okay, now that we went through a brief demonstration, let's continue on with the presentation by giving you an idea of some of the different partners that we have for you to integrate with. So with GoFormz, I mentioned before, the first step is going to be digitizing your form, and then that second step is going to be using workflows and integrations to have access to your unstructured data. These are some of the integrations that we do have built out. This is not an exhaustive list. These are just some of the most common integrations that we do see. And with some of our workflows, you are going to be able to set up dispatch and share your forms. We do have an API that you can utilize for customization. So again, once you digitize that form, the possibilities that you have through workflows and integrations really are going to come down to what's going to make the most sense for you and your daily processes. Okay, quick summary and the key takeaways of our presentation today. So again, paper processes are currently, very manual and redundant, and they're allowing or not allowing you to have access to that data. There's lots of missing information, and it can just be quite messy. Once you digitize these forms, you have the option to, really speed up these processes. You'll get the traceability into who's filling out these forms. You'll get an audit trail, and it just also allows you to have access to that data so that you can, again, report on it and run some analytics. You can sign up for a free trial of GoFormz today on our website. If you want to take a look at this on your own, you will be assigned somebody to help you through the process as well, so you won't be alone in those initial phases. These are some of our customers that we are working with today. We do have customers all across the globe, and these are some of our top customers in each of the industries that we do service. This is not an exhaustive list of industries. GoFormz is available and can benefit every industry. And with that, I do want to pass it over to you all and see if there's any questions that I can answer here today.
It actually looks like we have a few questions, Tiffany, if you are ready for them.
I am ready.
So the first question is there an approvals process available for forms that require review?
There is. So that is going to be one of the workflows that I've mentioned multiple times during this call. So we have a process that when you fill out the form, we can send an email notification to the person that needs to approve this form. We can also include a link in that email that will notify them, so-and-so has completed this form. Please use the link below to go ahead and approve or deny this form. And we also have a transfer process. So we'd be able to transfer that form to multiple people until it gets to the end user that needs that final authorization.
All right, what about connections with ERPs?
Yeah, great question. So I did put up a slide that mentioned some of our integrations that we already have built out, but what we also have is an open API. So with GoFormz, you can connect to any other system that also has an API, one of them being ERP systems. And it is something that I see a lot in the manufacturing and packaging industry.
So what about getting your forms into GoFormz in the first place?
Yeah, great question as well. So again, with GoFormz, we have a patent on the ability for you to bring in your own forms. So what you're going to do is just have either a PDF or a JPEG version of your paper forms, and you'll just upload that directly into GoFormz. So no changes will be made. It will look identical. We'll just now turn it into a mobile document.
Okay, the last one we have is actually about pricing. They would like to know if there's an extra cost using the GoFormz app.
So there is no additional cost to use the GoFormz app. So if you do want to get a glimpse into our pricing, we have that available on our website at goformz.com. You'll just go to the pricing section. And using the app is not going to cause anything additional there. So you'll be able to download it and use the web under the same user license.
All right, giving it another minute to see if another last second question rolls in.
Perfect.
But that looks like that's covered everything. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I want to thank you guys for sitting through this webinar with me today. Best next steps are, again, go to goformz.com and you can sign up for a free trial just to get a feel for the platform yourself. And at that time, you are going to be assigned somebody to help you with the process. So you'll be able to ask your additional questions while you're actually getting a hands-on experience with the software. You can reach out to me at any time if you have questions. This is my email. Feel free to email me with any questions. I would be happy to answer those for you and give you a in-depth demonstration where we can actually bring in one of your forms if you wanted to give it to me as an example, and we can run through your unique processes and how GoFormz might fit into those as well. So again, thank you all very much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I do look forward to speaking with some of you in the future to see what questions you have for me.